Hello to my fellow glorious Gaians. Thank you for joining me, Amber, on my channel, Guidance Through Gaia, where I do tarot pick-a-card readings. If this is your first time here, welcome, and I hope that you find something that resonates here with you. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you for giving me another opportunity to read your energy today. It's always such a pleasure. I am open for personal readings. If you are interested, my contact information is in the description box down below. You can go ahead, send me an email, and I will send you a list of my services. So let's get right into it, okay? We are asking, what were their last thoughts of you? Now, we are looking at it in a romantic sense. It could be a crush of yours. It could be an ex. It could be a new love interest, a situationship, your current partner, whatever it is, whoever it is, whatever the situation, that's what we're here for today. We are going to be using the Phantom Wise Tarot to get a reading about their thoughts, and then we will be using several oracle card decks to kind of expand upon those thoughts. We've got 3 piles here that I have selected. For group number 1, we have my hair. Just kidding. We have 23 with the card The Destroyer. We have card number 27 for group 2, and it says The Unseen. And we have card number 70 with The Thread. Let's go ahead, take your time, select your pile or piles, and I will see you there. Hello, group number 1. You chose the card 23, The Destroyer, and this is going to be your reading on what their last thoughts of you were. So here, automatically, I can assume and see that this is a person where there's been some hardships. This could be an ex. This could be a person that rejected you. This could be somebody that you are still with, but maybe there was a significant argument or breakdown. Okay, it looks like we have here almost like this egg shape, right? But this darkness kind of emanating from it, almost like there's something festering, or there's a birth of something. And at first it may have seemed beautiful. There's even like this light in this darkness, right? This radiance. But it's being overshadowed by what appears to be like this very dark spore. There's like these kind of copperish looking globs here, which make me think a little bit of an infection, right? And then we've got these dark eyes, which can seem ominous, but it also makes me think of an owl, right? So owls are predators, and we oftentimes think of them as being most active in the evening, very difficult to see and notice, but they're also symbols of wisdom. This person might feel like they have a sight straight into you, right? Like into your soul. Maybe their words cut very deeply, or there's just this intimacy that you can't explain. So we are going to look into what their last thoughts of you were about. Now, I always hope for the best, but because, this is already such a deep, kind of difficult energy, I just want to warn you, if you're not ready for a potentially difficult message, it's okay to click away. You can come back to it later if you need to. We may be pleasantly surprised because there may be some warm thoughts here as well, or instead. But just remember, this is the current energy, and it just kind of gives you, it's supposed to give you a sense of where they are at mentally. But you also have the ability to make the decision for yourself, like where you want to be at mentally. Is this a connection that you want to try to repair? Is this a connection that you want to let go of? Is this a connection where there needs to be forgiveness or boundaries? Readings like this, any reading really, is never supposed to be an end-all be-all, right? It's a supplementary tool that you can use along with your own life choices. So What was this person's last thought of group 1? What was their last thought of group 1? The Queen of Pentacles in reverse. The Eight of Cups. We have a bunch of clarifiers here. So we've got the Three of Wands with the World, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Three of Cups. What was their last thoughts of group 1? The Two of Pentacles in reverse. Judgment. I knew that Judgment card was going to come out. Justice. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Justice feels like a good end for this right now. Okay, group number 1. This person is feeling, when they're thinking about you, there is a level of, I wouldn't even really say detachment, because they're still highly motivated by their thoughts of you. But in a spiteful way, when they imagine you, they see you as this Queen of Pentacles in reverse, clarified by the Two of Pentacles in reverse. Originally, they may have seen you as somebody who was very nurturing, and they could have depended on that, right? They may have really leaned into that, just loved how nurturing and kind and generous you were. But then they feel that you pulled that back. So it looks like, almost as if the Queen of Pentacles here is sleeping, right? She went to rest. She shut her eyes. She's in slumber. And they're using that feeling of you going cold, of you pulling back that warmth and nurture from them as a reason to excuse whatever happened here between the two of you. It's almost as if they left the balance of the relationship in your hands, and they said, well, group number 1, they just stopped caring as much, or they weren't as sweet anymore, or they weren't as nurturing anymore, they weren't as soft or gentle anymore, as understanding, as giving. And so the scale just balanced. The scale just tipped the balance. And whether this is due to if this resulted in an argument, or that you had an argument with them, like you guys are together, but maybe you're sleeping in different rooms, or they've gone off to their parents for the weekend, or you're in a motel or whatever, or like they ghosted you, or this was a breakup situation, they're really throwing a pity party. I'm going to be honest, they are throwing a pity party. They are thinking about how them walking away was justified, right? And I mean, we do have justice over here, but they feel that they had to make a call. And this is really a sense of self-preservation. Group number 1 wasn't serving me anymore. Group number 1 wasn't meeting my needs. And so I had to walk away. I had to do what was best for me. So now they're thinking of expanding. Okay? But what they're seeing is a whole new shift. And this is tough because these thoughts lead into thoughts about themselves. So this is very likely somebody who is more self-centered, may not have a lot of emotional intelligence, that may struggle to see perspectives outside of their own. But they're thinking about, well, you know, what can I do now? You know, now that there's this separation. So if you guys got into a fight, you know, but you're together, like you're married or whatever, they're thinking like, oh, I'm going to go out and I'm going to party. I'm going to go have a drink. You know, serves group one right. I deserve this. I earned this. If there was a breakup, you know, it's all about like, I'm going to go out with my friends, or I'm going to get on Tinder. I'm going to start hooking up. And yep, the 9 of Cups. It's all about what is making them feel good. And so, one thing I want to look at, because this does lead into just what their thoughts for themselves are, I want to see, why are they thinking of you at all then? If they think, like, what's the feeling or the energy behind their thought of you? If they feel that they're so justified, they feel that they're in the right, or that you tip the balance, the King of Pentacles. There is a sense of disappointment there. I don't think... Okay. Oh. So first of all, before I get into this, what I will say is they're feeling disillusioned right now, and it's very likely they had unrealistic expectations to begin with. They may have seen you as like their divine counterpart. And because of whatever issue happened, all of a sudden they flip the switch, right? They're like, oh, I was wrong. I misunderstood what was going on. This might be somebody who struggles with emotional regulation, who may have something like borderline personality disorder, you know, that they haven't treated. And, or other like, maybe like an avoidant attachment issue, something where it's hard for them to understand sometimes the dynamics, like the complexity of a relationship and human existence, human emotions. It may be hard for them to take accountability for their actions. They could also be struggling with like addiction issues. You know, sometimes when we're holding people accountable for addictive behaviors, if they're not ready to see that for themselves, then they tend to push those people away and make excuses, right? But at the very end of the day, it's because in their heart, like, they really do want to be with you. They still feel warmth when they think of you, and I think that might put them on the offensive and defensive. Just puts them on the defensive, because their mind gets in the way, right? Their own ego gets in the way. But they still have this sense of love for you, this sense of adoration for you, this sense of attraction to you. Now, it is important to remember, if somebody can't take accountability, it's not your job to walk them through that, right? It's not your job to lessen yourself so that they feel more comfortable. You know, you're probably not the first person that's tried to hold this person accountable. I don't know that they've necessarily ever felt this way about somebody before, but also what's more important than how they feel about you, like when, especially when it's the good feelings or even, you know, the bad feelings, any type of feeling that they have for you, is how they treat you. And so this could be a situation where they are really struggling to understand, you know, how did pile one, you know, I feel these feelings and I have this affection for pile one and this attraction and this love and this adoration, and they make me feel these good things, but this part of our interaction or this part of our relationship doesn't make me feel good. And I don't know that they're able to reconcile that there can be different ways to look at the situation, especially looking inward to themselves, right? How are they playing a part? How did they play the role? I think they are looking at things surface level, and they're saying, well, pile one just shifted. Their attitude just shifted. They started getting more argumentative, or they just didn't have as much time for me, or, you know, they weren't as affectionate. And even if they're willfully ignorant, right? Like, they're intentionally allowing themselves to be dumb about this. There is still a sense of confusion, and it's going to be up to them to work through it, okay? Point blank. Like, I really hope that they do, because maturity and growth is always a good thing, right? Like, I always want that for somebody. But also because I would gather if you're here, then you very likely still have feelings for them and you want things to work out. And the only thing you can do, group number one, is just kind of continue your journey and work on your healing and, you know, give this person some space and just trust that, like, you've done the best that you can and you can't force this person into growth. They're going to do it if they're going to do it. And if they don't do it, it's okay to grieve the loss of that relationship or that connection, but also understand, like, it's not your fault. So what messages can we get from them? We're going to use this Romeo and Juliet. All right. Drama King here. What's on my cards? I don't know. So we have Juliet and Betray, right? The Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Betrayal. So Juliet says, inner strength and independence. My bounty is as boundless as the sea. My love is deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite. This might be how they saw you originally, right? Somebody who just, your sole existence was to love. And I don't think they expected that. Love at times to have boundaries or limitations, or needs. And then betray, divergence, different values, change of heart, thought, and manipulation. Romeo's dish clout to him, an eagle, madame, hath not so green, so quick, so fair an eye as Paris hath. And so they could be reflecting on their change of heart. They could be feeling like they may not recognize their behaviors as manipulative. They could be recognizing them as manipulative and intentionally being manipulative. They could see you as having different values now, or a change of heart, or even thinking that you are manipulative. Like, that's an immaturity. A lot of times people who are manipulative will accuse others of being manipulative. What other messages do we have from group number one's person? Camera, reminiscing, keepsake, perception, learn from the past, and make memories. Even though they're in this avoidant mentality, there is, I think, a part of their brain that's trying to learn. It could also be feeling, though, yep, there it is, the itch in the brain. This feeling of I learned my lesson. I'm never going to trust again. You know, that kind of self-pitying lesson that sometimes we fall into the trap of. I do think they also think about you a lot, and they're also looking through pictures, and they're having feelings of nostalgia. Passion, insane chemistry, like each other equally, having fun. They are having very sexual thoughts of you, and there's soulmates on the bottom with soul connection, partnership, agreement, soul contract. They still feel a very heavy physical, erotic attraction to you. They may be wanting to have makeup sex, but also like that soul connection to you, where they just like it's like you're a song that sings to them, you know, and they can't get that tune out of their head. And I think it's driving them insane, even as they're trying to distract themselves. Like, look how I placed this card, right? It's kind of like this guy goes out to this club and he's like admiring these ladies, but he's not actually partaking. You know, he's trying to convince himself he's having a good time, that he's letting loose, that he's going to flirt and get it on and get all this attention, but he's still withdrawn. He's still holding back because his heart isn't ready for it. All right, what other messages do we have for group 1 from this person? Honeymoon, enjoy the bliss of holiday time together, but it came in reverse. So they are really missing the time when everything was carefree. There were no responsibilities and no expectations. And that's when stuff is easy, right? But it's what's hard is when you get out of that honeymoon phase, when you realize, when you're forced to face the fact that a person that you're with is, you know, another person. And then finances and career, financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So for a lot of you, this tension may not have arisen if they weren't stressed about money, about work. Maybe they've been working long hours. Maybe they're concerned about their finances, and they could have just kind of gone into crisis mode and taken it out on you. The reality is, though, like, whatever happened, you probably weren't deserving of it. Which, judging by how the cards came out, I feel like for a lot of you, there's a serious separation. You know, even if the two of you are married, it's like y'all have been sleeping in different rooms for maybe like several days, and you're not talking to each other, and they're kind of disappearing or whatever. You know, I feel like for most of you, there's a significant change even in an ongoing relationship where it's enough of a worry to you. And I'll say that, like, they need to work on their emotional regulation. If they're stressed out, then they need to ask for help. You know, maybe they need to lower their expectations. Maybe they need to reallocate some funds, or, you know, cut some of the hours that they're working. And then we'll get a song from them to you. You'd think these smaller ones would come out more easily, but not necessarily. Okay. I could never say this feels right. We're talking in circles all night. How can we see the light if we're both blinded? You want my love, there's only love for you. I'm not familiar with the song, so I do not understand the full context of it. But saying, I could never say this feels right. But then talking about, you want my love, there's only love for you. So it's almost as if, like, there's this knowing, you know, it's not, it feels right. It's knowing that it's right. And, you know, how can we see the light if we're both blinded? A lot of times we talk about being blinded by love, but, you know, we're seeing the light here. Right. Okay, good. We've got this light here, But it's in this darkness, and we're talking about in circles all night. We've got this circle. How can we see the light if we're both blinded? You know, I think this is a song, this lyric at least speaks to me in a way of like, you know, we're both looking at this from angles and we're not meeting each other in the middle. Like there's some sort of communication barrier. And sometimes communication barriers can lead to just like breakups. It can lead to outbursts. You know, like one person can be upset because they're feeling neglected emotionally in a relationship, and the other person can feel upset because they're like, well, I'm trying to take care of you, and that's why I'm working so much. And there's a discrepancy about what the needs in a relationship really are. And I think that they're confused, like, how does group number one not know that I love them? And it's probably because they're not showing it in the way that you need, right? Especially if you've tried to communicate it to them and they just have kept on doing the same old patterns. So group number one, this is where I'm going to leave you. If you enjoyed this reading, please give it a thumbs up. If it resonated with you, let me know how in the comment section down below. If you would like to be a part of our family, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know whenever I upload a new video. And if you would like a personal reading, just find my email in the find my contact information in the description box down below and send me an email. I'll send you a list of my services. Bye. Hello, group number two. You chose card 27 with the unseen, and this is going to be your reading on what their last thoughts of you were. So with this card, when I hear or see or read the unseen, I'm thinking of somebody that you may feel ignored by. Could be somebody who ghosted you. Could be somebody that's a crush that you don't feel really acknowledges you or understands your true feelings. This could be somebody that you are meeting with in secret. So kind of like a secret fling or maybe an affair partner. They could have green eyes. But overall, there's a sense of mystery. And I guess that's why we're here, right? You know, when we're looking at what are their last thoughts of you, it's because we don't know. Like, we're curious. But I could see this as being potentially either lighthearted energy or a little bit of somber energy. So I'm just going to say, you know, if there's any concern about like maybe an undesirable message coming through, it's okay to click away. Group one's was pretty tough, but what do you expect when you get a card that's called the Destroyer? But overall, I'm not necessarily getting anything overtly harsh about this energy. More so just curious, a little anxious. So let's see what we can get for you guys. Okay. What was group two person? Ooh, okay. We've got the Four of Pentacles in reverse. We've got the Five of Cups in reverse with the Two of Cups in reverse. Okay. What can you tell us about this person's last thoughts of group two? We've got the Three of Swords in reverse with the Eight of Wands. And then we've got the Ten of Swords. I'm going to stop there. We'll probably do a little bit more questioning with the cards as we go on. Right now, they're kind of in their feelings. Okay, group number 2, which maybe this will be a surprise to you, maybe it won't. But right now, they feel as if you have just let go. That the bond that they maybe thought was possible to create with you, or that the bond that maybe you two did have, if there was more substance to it, they see you as maybe not having valued the connection as much as what they did, which is interesting because, you know, we're looking at this as the person themselves, the unseen. It does kind of make sense that maybe they feel unseen by you, right? And this may be a situation where there was just something that created separation between the two of you. Maybe someone had to move. Maybe if this was like an affair situation, it had to break up and you had to let go. Maybe it was like right person, wrong time, but they feel left behind, right? And they think that you've just had kind of an easy time of moving on. With this Three of Swords in reverse, that's talking about healing. And then we've got it clarified by the Eight of Wands. And normally that would be great, right? Like, who doesn't want to heal quickly? The process of healing can seem so drawn out and so painful and so cyclical. But it's almost painful for them to think that you have just bounced back without almost any effort. You know, we've got the Ten of Swords here. And that indicates like an ending, a betrayal, an overwhelm. So I think it's really causing them to question what their value to you was, what the relationship meant to you. And you might be feeling the same way. You might be thinking the same way. I do want to see what are they holding on to with this relationship? You know, what's the energy that they're holding on to? What specifically has them attached? What is this person holding on to? The Knight of Wands. Ooh, there was passion. There was excitement. There was thrill. And, you know, when we are behaving in ways that facilitate those kind of emotions, we are creating somewhat of a bond, because it's like it creates a high, you know? And then how do you recreate that high? You're always chasing that high because it felt so good. Maybe it was like they just never had the chemistry with someone as they had with you. And they're really kind of feeling withdrawals of that. Maybe there was excitement if this was like an affair situation, or you guys were just meeting in secret, like even if you were both single, but like for some reason it was like a forbidden romance, you know, and you had to worry about, oh my God, are we going to get caught? You know, that thrill of doing something taboo can be very intoxicating. We've got the Chariot here with strength and the Seven of Swords in reverse. Oh. Okay, they really, really thought that it wasn't going to stay in the dark. Group number 2. So if this was somebody who was like a situationship, a hookup, a one-night stand, they really saw it leading to more. Okay? And if this was a situation where it was like an affair, They thought you or they or someone or both of you were going to leave your partners and you were going to build this life together. If this was like simply a forbidden romance, you know, they really thought that the both of you were going to decide to take the chance and just be with each other in spite of what society, your friends, your family, your employment situation stated, you know, was appropriate, was right. And you know, and now they're just really disheartened by that. This might have been something the two of you talked about doing, right? It could be that the both of you made plans like, yeah, I'm going to leave my wife, I'm going to leave my boyfriend, I'm going to leave my husband or my fiance. It could have been, you know, I don't care what anybody else says. Like, we're meant to be together. This just makes sense. Like, we should just be with each other no matter what anybody else says. And it can be painful, like, when we think we're on the same page with somebody, and then that person just kind of flips the page, and suddenly we're left behind. Like, that can be very painful. And if that's a situation, you know, they're really feeling confused. There might be some resentment or anger there. And it is really just them trying to cope and find answers for themselves. But it is also possible that this person just kind of created that in their head. You know, maybe it was something the two of you never really talked about. You didn't necessarily talk about becoming committed after being friends with benefits for a while. You know, you never indicated you were going to leave your partner or that you wanted something visible. They may have just made the assumption based on what they wanted and what they felt, and that's unfortunate for them too. You know, that highlights the importance of keeping communication open between both parties. Or you could even be saying, Amber, girl, like, I told this person this wasn't gonna happen, and at that point, like, that is kind of on them. You know, if we told somebody flat out, you know, what our boundaries were and what we were willing to do, and they chose to ignore that, that's a lesson for this person, right? To understand, like, we need to believe people for what they tell us and not what we want. Either way, it's going to be a difficult healing journey for them. They're going to have to, well, and then we got the Queen of Swords in reverse. They're kind of mentally congested right now. They're very confused. Their brain is kind of, I would say, like a maze. And it may take time for them to really catch up or accept what happened, or even just accept if there's, like, sometimes you have to be okay with no resolution. You have to be okay with no closure. And, oh, God, that sucks. I know it sucks. But, you know, if you were looking for a sign that this person missed you, I would say they do miss you. If you were looking for a sign if they were going to take you back or if they would want to reconcile, we'll see that. Because some of you may not be interested in reconciling, but for those of you who are interested in reconciling, let's see how their energy about reconciling. The Star, very hopeful. Right now, it's absolutely what they want. And, I mean, this could be, like, as somebody who just went through a breakup, reconciling right away after separation or, you know, heartbreak isn't always the most appropriate thing. You know, we're in a state of confusion and dysregulation. But especially if there's been some time, or if this is a situation where you're like, you know, I really want to talk things out. I really want to clear the air. I want to apologize, or I want to try to see if we can mend our relationship and figure out how to be authentic with each other. But I'll say, yeah, go ahead, give it a try. But this also might just be a good time for the both of you to be separated for a little bit until you can get clarity. So what's another message they would have for you? This is from a Romeo and Juliet oracle deck. Oh, kiss. The sublimation of love, eternal loyalty, noble sacrifice. O churl, drunk all and left no friendly drop to help me after I will kiss thy lips. So they do want to absolutely reconnect with you. There's a sense of passion, a sense of longing, you know, and like Romeo in this scene is thinking that Juliet is actually dead and that she drank poison. And so he goes to drink poison as well or whatnot so that he can pass with her. You know, there's almost like this sense of devastation along with that sense of longing for that kiss. Forced marriage, which says loss of freedom, excessive interference. Sir Paris, I will make a desperate tender of my child's love. I think she'll be ruled in all respects by me. Nay, more, I doubt it not. So if this was like an affair or a situation where maybe the two of you were like in a forbidden romance, even if the both of you were single, this person could feel that you were forced into a situation, or even if they were forced into a situation, maybe they still feel like you moved on more quickly than they expected. But they feel that the circumstances were kind of the cause for what happened, right? The sense of like unfairness. We have solitude with calm down, listen to your inner voice, reduce anxiety. Love, give me strength, and strength shall help afford. So they're really keeping themselves isolated right now. They may have kind of like closed off their heart. They may be in a bit of a depression. And then Friar Lawrence with wise, trustworthy, caring, optimistic. Wisely and slow, they stumble that run fast. So this person understands that sometimes rushing things can lead to negative outcomes. And they may have somebody that they are kind of confiding their feelings in, right? Or there may be things that they wish that they could tell you, that they could entrust with you. All right. Let's get some more messages from them. What messages does this person have? Ooh, girl with a snake. Empath and narcissist paradigm, being charmed or used, enable boundaries, and then not enough with frustrated in relationship, lack of confidence, self-sabotage, fear, ego issues, and jealousy. So I think they're really questioning their self-worth. They could also be feeling that either they were manipulated in the situation or that someone manipulated you in the situation. It's very much giving the sense of like destiny was ripped away from me. Like my true love was taken from me. All right, what other messages do we have from this person to group 2? Trust, and then soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. And then trust. The situation is calling for you to have faith. They're really longing for you to return, group number 2, and they could see you as their soulmate. Conversely, there's also, with this soulmate card coming out in reverse, they could be pleading for you emotionally, mentally, to trust that whoever you're with now is not actually your soulmate. So if like you got into a relationship after being with this person, whether you were like exclusive or not with this unseen person, but maybe you entered into an exclusive relationship afterwards. You know, this is the person who's like, no, 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 it's not them, it's me. If this was like an affair situation and you decided to break this off, or because like you decided to stay with your current partner, or you wanted them to stay with their current partner, they're like, you know, trust that your partner isn't your soulmate, or trust that the person I'm with isn't really my soulmate. There's a lot of begging and pleading, you know, just the desire to be seen. And then we're going to get a song from this musical deck. And with this girl with the snake and then not enough in reverse, because the not enough card did come out in reverse as well. This could be talking about if they felt that other people were maybe whispering in your ear about the relationship. Just trying to like subliminally kind of reassure you that, like, you know, despite what anybody says, like, this relationship was real, their feelings are real, the authenticity of this connection was real. And then we have, but there's a hope that's waiting. Oh, it's Scars to Your Beautiful by Alessia Cara. But there's a hope that's waiting for you in the dark. You should know you're beautiful just the way you are. And you don't have to change a thing. The world could change its heart. No scars to your beautiful. We're stars and we're beautiful. So they're really just wanting to amplify the statement of like how special you are to them. And, you know, if you feel like if they were in a situation where they had a partner, they're trying to communicate like there's something different about you from their partner that stands out, and they're very passionate about whatever that is about you. If this is about you being pulled away into a relationship that they feel maybe you're not satisfied with, they're trying to petition for you to understand, like, don't listen to that other person. Don't let that person make you feel bad about yourself. It's really just appealing to, like, the emotional connection that they felt, at least. Whether or not you did, I don't know, but that they felt. So group number 2, I hope that this reading resonated with you. If it did, please let me know how in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to be a part of the family but haven't done so, you can hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know whenever I upload a new video. And if you would like a personal reading, you can find my contact information in the description box down below. Send me an email and I'll send you a list of my services. Bye. Hello, group number 3. You chose the card 70 with the thread. This is going to be your reading all about their last thoughts of you. So with this card, because we have the rainbow here, this could indicate a queer relationship. Doesn't have to be. It could also feel with this red thread here like a very spiritual connection. You could feel as if you're tethered to this person. This person could feel that they are very tethered to you. It's almost like there's this light in the dark, right? Or at the very end of this cavern or this darkness, that there is this beautiful sight to behold, but it's a struggle to get there. So in terms of relationships, I mean, I could really see this as any type of relationship, you know. This could be a relationship with a long-term partner that's maybe going through some struggles. This could be related to an ex. This could be a crush. This could be kind of a new love interest. So the other two piles felt a little bit more specific in what type of relationship it probably was. but this one I feel is really open to any relationship dynamic. And of course, all the piles are good. I've certainly had instances where I've chosen a pile, like I felt really called to something in a reading and I chose it, and I'm like, this situation doesn't really match what I'm going through, but I kept feeling like, no, listen to it. And then there would be something in that reader's message for that group that just stuck with me and was like, oh, that's what it was for. That's why I was drawn to this pile. So, I mean, having an energy check like this is just extra confirmation. But if you ever feel pulled to a pile and you're like, I don't know if this is going to be for me, it doesn't hurt to listen to it. Aww. The Page of Swords. You know, and I mean, if it's like one of those long videos, here's a clue. Like, you can hit the speed button. You can put it up to like 2 times the speed. You know? If you're like, oh, I don't really, this isn't fitting with me, but I kind of want to listen to it. Okay, we've got the 5 of Wands with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. See, and look at this. We've got this rope right here, and then we've got the piñata right there. That, like, yeah. That just connects it so well. We've got the Fool. We've got the Star with the King of Cups. We'll start here. I've got the Devil right there. Group number 3. I don't know why, but when I saw this card, it just made me think of someone thinking about how your voice is angelic to them. There's such clarity to your voice. It's so soothing. They really see you as having the power in this connection, right? Because we've got this ballerina here. Ballerinas are usually seen as kind of like frail. I mean, they're strong, but like they're really thin, you know, they're dancers. They're not martial artists. They're not like athletic swimmers. They're not swordsmen. They're symbols of like grace and beauty. But yet this ballerina here has these wings, right? She can fly. And she's also holding this sword. And then we've got the 5 of Wands here. And it's these kids hitting at a piñata, and it's clarified by the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So for some of you, there's 2 scenarios I'm getting here for some of you. For some of you, I am getting that they are just kind of thinking about you reaching out, you cutting down this piñata, right? Making the rise to the top to reach this this rainbow, which, you know, are symbols of kind of like, you know, we think of the, as symbols of peace or symbols of calm after the rain. They see you as having the power to eliminating this struggle, right? And leading them into this new journey with you. You know, the Fool card here is really giving me this idea of like a daydream. And I think for a lot of them, this could be what it is. It's less of really a conscious thought or a plan or a dialogue. And it's more of them daydreaming about actions that they wish you would take. You know, you swoop in, you see the struggle that's occurring, whatever lack of communication there's been or whatever complications there have been, you're just coming in and rescuing it and whisking them away on this new journey where there's this hope, right? There's this, it's funny we're talking about like this symbol of peace after the rain, and we've got the star here, which talks about hope after the collapse of the tower. And this hope is being offered by the King of Cups. And so this King of Cups could represent you in this fantasy of like you showering them with love and emotional security. It could also be that they have, for some of you, I'm getting like, I just saw 7-7, this daydream of like, oh gosh, if group 3 would only just come and, you know, start the transition, if they start the communication, if they just come and they eliminate this problem, you know, and we run off into this new relationship, this new beautiful life together, I can give them the world. Like, I could show them what I could do. There is this fantasy of, I think, being able to shower you with love and affection, really being nurturing, taking care of your needs, just being your dream partner, being the person that you're just like, wow, oh my God, I can't believe that they exist. I never knew it could feel this good. For others of you, they are thinking of delivering communication, because it seems like there's been a turn of events with this Wheel of Fortune in reverse that caused disharmony. And they either want to start over with the Fool, you know, they want to apologize, they want to come to you, they want to explain themselves, or they just plain out want to explain the situation. And then they want to start this new beginning. You know, once this struggle, once this dissatisfaction is out of the way, then they're thinking of, you know, group 3 and I can start over. We can have a new beginning. We can start off fresh. And then this star and this King of Cups really becomes an embodiment of the kind of relationship that they feel that the both of you could have together. You know, the King of Cups in this instance represents less of an actual person and more of just like the caretaking, creative, loving energy of the relationship itself. So for those of you with this second situation, I want to see like, what's this Wheel of Fortune in reverse and the 5 of Wands? Like, what situation is that? And maybe it could be different for all of you, but maybe there's some kind of explanation we can get. The 10 of Pentacles in reverse with the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, they held back from something. You might have tried to enter into a relationship with this person and they didn't accept it, right? Maybe there was even a proposal for some of you and they rejected the proposal. Or maybe you were wanting to be proposed to. You were talking about marriage or even like talking about moving in together, you know, taking this relationship to the next level. And they might have vanished or they might have rejected that and left you feeling like, well, what the hell? Like, why do they not want to take this next step with me? Why did they refuse to do this? And that's a good question. Let's see if we can get an answer. I'm snoopy as hell. Why did they reject group 3 or not make an investment? What's the situation with that? Now, because we're reading for different people, if this doesn't feel right to you, you don't have to take it, okay? The 2 of Cups in reverse with the Empress in reverse and Death in reverse. For some of you, they may not have been finished with a different connection. They might have been in a relationship with somebody else, even if it was something like, they're legally separated, but they haven't actually divorced. This person might not have felt that they were ready to move on or felt comfortable committing or making a higher commitment to you if they were still in that process. For others, it could be that they were struggling over letting go of an ex. Could be right person, wrong time for the both of you. They were in the healing phase and they didn't feel that they could take on the weight of another relationship, or they didn't feel that it would be fair to you. For others still, they may have fears of commitment, right? That may have gotten in the way. They may have had negative experiences in the past and they thought like, nope, not trying this, not doing this. I don't want something bigger. And now they're kind of coming to the realization of like, no, I do want something more. All right, so we're going to get some message cards from Romeo and Juliet Oracle. What messages does this person have for group 3? Count Paris. Narcissistic, attractive, noble, sincere, Verona's summer hath not such a flower. All right, and Paris was the other guy that like Juliet's parents wanted her to marry, right? If I remember correctly. This person could have dealt with a narcissist in the past, and I think that they've got some wounds around that. They may have also been, if there was competition in the relationship, maybe you weren't the only option. They may have chosen this other person and regretted it. If there was competition for your affection, they may have just chickened out, right? They may have felt too intimidated to pursue you even more. We've got Masquerade Ball, a night of passion, embracing a whole new identity. Go, girl, seek happy nights to happy days. Nay, gentle Romeo, we must have you dance. And then romantic night, romantic entanglement, sexual encounter. Go get thee to thy love, as was decreed. So once again, this can talk about a situation where maybe they chose somebody else over you. There could have been, if you guys were together, maybe they cheated on you. Masquerade balls are all about masks and hiding and illusions. They may have also, in the beginning, not really understood their feelings for you or what they thought this connection was. It's possible that they've come to like this awakening sense of like, I think group number 3 is a soulmate connection of mine. That we have like a more spiritual bond. Okay. What other messages can we get for you? Group number 3 from this person. Okay, group number 3, what messages do we have for them from this person? Ooh, talking. Interested, conversing more. Awaited message arrives. Message arrives. Text, call, email, or hovering. Keys on a ring. Many options. Decision. Unconventional. String along. One night stand. Stabbed in the back with heartbreak, pain, separation, deception, shocking attack. So there's a lot of ways that we can take this, right? With talking and keys on a ring coming out together but being separated from stabbed in the back, this could be just communicating that this person is considering a variety of options. Should I message group number 3? Should I not? If I do message group number 3, how should I message them? Should I be more romantic about it? Should I be apologetic about it? Should I be funny about it, casual about it? You know, it could be that they're thinking of different scenarios in their head if this is like a daydream sequence, okay? It could also be that, once again, they may be admitting that they hurt you. And this could also be an indication that they're still in the process of exploring different connections. You know, just because somebody wants to be with us or sees value in us doesn't mean that they're ready to let go of past behaviors. It is possible for some of you, I wouldn't say all, this is probably the group that has the largest array of possibilities in a scenario. The other two were a little bit more confined in their interpretations, but it's possible that this person is still kind of a player, right? Or still very much casual about their connections. This could also just talk about this is a wound that they're healing from, right? For some of you, especially if you know about them being hurt in the past, where they're just deeply afraid of being betrayed, of being cheated on, of being strung along, of being misled. What other messages can we get for group number 3? Ooh, soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. They're so sure about you. Look at that. We've got this red thread here in soulmate. And then we've got codependency with addictions are affecting your romantic life and playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. But they were in reverse, okay? And so this is, I think, a time when they're very avoidant instead of being codependent. They're not ready truly for commitment. And instead of being playful, they might be experiencing more anxiety. They may be more serious. More so when it comes to this connection. Because if they're fooling around with a bunch of other people, you can kind of consider that a little bit of playful energy, right? You know, like, oh, I'm just having a good time. But when it comes to you, I feel like there's a little bit more seriousness. They don't feel so lighthearted with you. And if this is like about a daydream that they're having, you know, this is them really thinking about becoming serious with you, but also, you know, having boundaries that you both adhere to, both being individuals. And maybe they felt smothered in previous relationships, or maybe they felt like they gave too much and were too anxious, and they're just imagining this relationship that's healthy, right? Let's get 2 songs since we have like 2 very different scenarios. So Wonderful by Everclear. Close my eyes when I go to bed and I dream of angels that make me smile. I feel better when I hear them say everything will be wonderful someday. That is definitely reaffirming to me that for some of you who are watching this, this is all about them daydreaming, right? Envisioning the kind of life that they want to have with you. And then we have Can't Stop the Feeling by Justin Timberlake. Ooh, it's something magical. It's in the air. It's in my blood. It's rushing on, rushing on. I don't need no reason, don't need no control, need control. I fly so high, no ceiling when I'm in my zone. And for those of you where this is more so the situation where they like, they regret not taking your offer seriously, not making more of a commitment for you. This is really the high that they get when they think of you, okay? But is that the same thing really as like valuing you as a person? Because it's nice to know that we make people feel good, that they enjoy the sensations they experience when they think of us. But does it go deeper than that? That's my question. That's my question. All right. Group number 3, I hope that you enjoyed this reading. If it resonated, please let me know how in the comment section down below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to be a part of our family but haven't done so, you can hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know whenever I upload a new video. And I am once again open for private readings. If you're interested, find my contact information in the description box down below and shoot me an email. I'll send you a list of my services. All right, bye.